There are a lot of different definitions for blended learning out there, and although many of the great minds can't agree on exactly what blended learning is, one thing they do agree on is that blended learning is not the same thing as classroom technology integration. Please don't misunderstand. Rich technology integration is a wonderful thing that should be a part of all classrooms, but using technology in the classroom is not the same as blended learning, although sometimes the line between the two can get a little blurry. When teachers utilize technology, that's obviously pretty cool. It often results in increased student engagement and increased teacher efficiency, but that's not blended learning. Having students answer questions on clickers or through polling software on the web is a great way to use technology to collect formative assessment data. But by itself, that's not really blended learning. However, if we take the results of a clicker poll and post it in an online discussion with some thought-provoking questions, or ask students to defend their thinking in that online forum, we move to a blended environment. That collaborative component and the shift from student-to-teacher interaction to student-to-student interaction shifted that situation into the blended arena. The use of technology transitions from being a great tool to the actual classroom space where the activity, sharing, and collaboration occurs. Taking a class to a computer lab to research for a paper they are writing is leveraging technology to access information and produce work. Nice use of tech, but not really blended learning. But if students are posting sections of their paper in an online forum to get feedback from peers or accessing recorded instruction from the teacher about the assignment while a small group works with the teacher to get some more in-depth instruction or immediate personal feedback, the activity becomes one that simply uses tech to one that uses a blended learning approach. See how that line blurs pretty quickly between tech integration and blended learning? Instead of spending time debating the gray areas of what is blended and what is tech integration, let's look at some hallmarks of blended learning. Number 1, a strong connection between online and offline work. The work students complete online needs to have a direct and obvious connection to the work completed face-to-face, and not simply be a supplemental or enrichment type activity. Blended learning is not sticking a student on the Oregon Trail game or sending a student to the computer for math games if they finish their work early. What a student is doing in the online environment needs to inform what is happening in the classroom. So Oregon Trail and online games can be a nice addition to the blended classroom if those activities are integrally connected to the activities in the face-to-face classroom. Number 2, increased student-to-student and teacher-to-student collaboration and increased student control over time, place, pace, or path of learning are additional hallmarks of a blended learning environment. This increased control will of course vary depending on the age of your learner, and our curriculum and standards outline the general pace through our year's content for us. But delivering content and activities online typically gives students more control over their learning. When information is online, students can access the content from home for review, or students viewing content in class can revisit and replay that information. Students who need more time to process can take that time to really reflect before sharing their ideas in an online discussion. Teachers can post a variety of instructional materials and add multimedia to appeal to various learning styles and give students a choice as to the path they take to master a topic. Online classrooms and collaborative platforms give students more opportunity to share their thinking and appreciate the thoughts of their peers. In these environments, students increasingly look to one another for feedback as opposed to simply the teacher. One easy-to-spot indicator of a blended learning environment is an online classroom presence. This is typically done through a learning management system or LMS like Schoology. There needs to be an online home base where students routinely go to access information, participate in online activities, and share or post their ideas and work. The online classroom isn't just a static website where students can download handouts. The online classroom features similar activities that take place in traditional classrooms, such as content instruction, discussions, and assessments. The M in LMS is why many teachers choose to use one. A good LMS will streamline many of the daily management processes for teachers and make assessing student work much easier. Number 4, repurposed time. Blended learning uses technology tools to restructure that sage on the stage delivery method, provides opportunities for reduced student-to-teacher ratio, and frees up more time for collaborative or problem-solving activities. Many of us are familiar with the flipped classroom model, where students view instruction through a video in place of the traditional lecture or teacher whole class lesson, which often moves too slow for some students, too fast for others, and can get sidetracked by interruptions. This frees up in-class time for activities and rich concept application. Repurposing class time doesn't always have to be done, though, by assigning videos for homework. Students can view these videos in class, at centers, or independently, giving the teacher time to work with smaller groups. And you can use the technology to repurpose class time without solely using video. For example, instead of taking 20 to 25 minutes each week to introduce and review new vocabulary and having students copy definitions to use for a homework activity, students can be paired up, assigned just 1 or 2 words, and given 10 to 15 minutes to search the web for various definitions and to find real-world usage instances of these words. The pair then posts the best, most clear definition and a couple examples of real-world usage in an online discussion. This gives everyone in the class a cumulative list of the words, clear definitions, and usage examples. The teacher can then post a few discussion topics and have students reply to each other with their own application of the vocabulary for homework. Instead of sitting and getting, students actively work together as a class to crowdsource the best definitions and usage examples for their vocabulary, and moving parts of this activity to the online classroom saves 10 minutes of class time, which over the course of the year can really add up. To recap, rich technology integration is awesome. Blended learning, also awesome. Both awesome and great together, but not the same thing. Blended learning isn't about the technology, it's about instructional design. The technology is leveraged intentionally to restructure the classroom to increase student involvement, engagement, and input. If we get too caught up in the tools, we miss the whole point. Blended learning is simply about good teaching and making the most of our online and face-to-face teaching environments. It's about deliberate and careful instructional planning to put certain activities and content online to take advantage of the opportunities this setting provides, and putting other activities in the face-to-face setting to leverage the opportunities it provides. It's really about blending these two settings strategically to create the best learning experiences for our learners.